Question 3, Don says, can you expand on what you meant by the cycling in streamings of energy? And so Ra says, there are 4 types of cycles, which are those given in the moment of entry into incarnation. There are, in addition, more cosmic and less regularized importance, which, from time to time, affect a sensitized mind-body-spirit complex. The 4 rhythms are, to some extent, known among your peoples and are called biorhythms. There is a 4th cycle, which we may call the cycle of gateway of magic, of the adept, or of the spirit. This is a cycle which is completed in approximately 18 of your diurnal cycles. The cosmic patterns are also a function of the moment of incarnative entrance and have to do with your satellite you call the moon, your planets of this galaxy, the galactic sun, and in some cases the in-streamings from the major galactic points of energy flow. Oof. Okay, so we have a lot of cycles going on here. What are they? So this is funny. Why would Ra say there is a 4th cycle when they mentioned before? Sometimes I don't understand Ra. Shocking, right? But I'll tell you why. First, they say that there are 4 types, okay? I think Ra has issues counting, as we all know. They only count up to 1. So, there are 4 types of cycles, which are those given at the moment of entry into incarnation. I think this is further explored, or deeply explored more in session 64, I think, if I remember correctly, when Don asks about these cycles in specificity. So, when we are born, all these cycles start. Okay, so the beginning of all these cycles obviously start with your moment of entry when you are born, the day you're born. And so, there are, in addition, more cosmic and less regularized inpourings which, from time to time, affect the sensitized mind-body-spirit complex. So, I don't know what these are, unless they are what Ra said at the end. The cosmic patterns are also a function of the moment of incarnative entrance and have to do with your satellite you call the moon, your planets of this galaxy. So, there's a lot of things influencing us. I will bring this to a happy closure, because if you're like me, when I hear that there is a lot of stuff that is affecting me, then I immediately think that I need to be aware of those things. You know, that's just the natural human response. And, you know, Ra is talking about reality here because these things are real. And so I will just bring it to a more human level at the end of this. So, there are 4 cycles, okay? There are, in addition, more cosmic and less regularized inpourings, which, from time to time, affect a sensitized mind-body-spirit complex. We don't know what that is. The 4 rhythms are, to some extent, known among your peoples and are called biorhythms. I am not aware but of just one of them, or at least have been aware of one of them, and that's the emotional one. And so there is a 4th cycle. You see why I say that I don't understand Ra? Because they said that there are 4 cycles at the beginning of the answer. Then they say the 4 rhythms are known to your people, and then they say that there is a 4th cycle. Well, maybe the 4th cycle you already mentioned, I don't know, which may be called the gateway of magic or the adept. This is just the spiritual cycle, so let's just call it spiritual or adepthood. This is a cycle which is completed in approximately 18 of your diurnal cycles. So the cosmic patterns are also a function of the moment of incarnative entrance and have to do with your satellite you call the moon. This is where I get confused, and I know this is the emotional cycle because it's 28 days. So is it because the moon is full? I don't think so, because it has to do with your incarnative moment, the day you were born. And I don't know if they are referring here to the cosmic patterns. So in all honesty, I don't know how to track all, like, what influences which cycle, but I do know the cycles of which I'll talk about. So they do mention the moon, then the planets of the galaxy, the galactic sun, which is in essence the central or the center of the galaxy, and in some cases the in-streamings from the major galactic points of energy flow. So in essence, we just have a lot of influences, and the cycles themselves are 4. And again, we will explore this in session 64, but I'll just leave you with the cycles themselves. There is the physical, the emotional, the intelligence, and then there is the adept or magical, which is the one that Ra is referring here. I think they're all on different times, meaning that, for example, this is 18, the spirit one or adept one is 18, the emotional is 28, the physical I believe is 33, and I forget what the intelligence, maybe it's 23, 28, 33, and 18, yes. So spirit 18, emotional 28, physical 33, and then the intelligence is 23. They all start at the beginning of your birth. So when you're born, it doesn't matter the time. Ra said that the time is so irrelevant that what really matters is the day itself, because it's a cycle. So you can dispense from the specificity, although I'm sure that it has an effect, but probably not as noticeable as the overall average of the day. And so if you're interested, of course I'm going to leave in the description a link so you can go check a calculator there is in the forums of LNL Research, which you will find as brainforth.org. That's their website for their forum, which has been active for a long time, decades already, probably. I don't know how long, but I know I find posts from 2005 or from the early stages of the internet. So there's somebody who created a calculator where you can plot your graph, and you can see where you are right now. I plotted one that is of interest to me, especially for this video, so I'll tell you more about that and I'll show it to you. But so all that matters at this point, especially for this question, is that we know that there are cycles and that they affect ourselves, and they are of the physical, the emotional, the intelligence, and the adept. If you can see here, there's a relationship between physical and emotional, and then intelligence and adept or spiritual. So there is mind, body, and spirit. The emotional being part of the mind, of course. Reactivity from the interaction between the mind and the physical, or the mind and the possible separation of self and other self. So yeah, I wish I could talk more about this, but I don't. I'm sure there are smarter people than me that could track or relate the cosmic patterns and how they affect us in different ways, not only for the cycles, but because of also what Ross said of the other influences that there are. When they say there are in addition more cosmic and less regularized inpourings. So these are not regularized, just like the cycles. So they may happen from time to time. I don't know. Maybe in my scientific mind, something like a supernova, that could be something, that it's not regularized and it just happens and it affects us. or something as subtle as just the movement of dust particles, you know, or asteroids around, or comets and so on. All of these were supposedly tracked by astrologers. That word just sounded weird in my head. And you know, the whole deal about the comets bringing doom to humanity. I'm sure they had an effect, not doom, but who knows? I don't indulge in that type of information. But this is reality. Now, what I wanted to bring